4 obstacles to a deal in technical sales and pre-sales, and ways around them. So here, let us suppose that we're speaking currently with a prospect that meets all of our BANT criteria. So they have the budget, we're speaking with the people in authority to make that deal happen, they definitely have a need for a solution, and the timing is right. So what can go wrong? Well, first of all, maybe that the client is perceiving your solution as being at least partially inadequate. Now, how would that happen? First of all, it could be the communication. So they may not understand what you're talking about, maybe that they find it too abstract, maybe that they are basically misperceiving what you're trying to say here. So you want to make sure that your communication channel is loud and clear. But in my experience in pre-sales, it's very rare that a solution will just fit a client. The client comes with their own technical stacks, their own challenges, and it's pretty much the art of trying to make a square peg fit into a round hole. And this is when a very good ground game with very competent and also very innovative pre-sales professionals can truly help. A second challenge might be the lack of credibility. And, make no mistake, if you go to client side and you explain to them that your solution is going to save them money, accelerate development, ensure top quality, but then you don't explain how this is all going to happen, well, people are going to be jaded and not necessarily trust you. On the other hand, if you just do a technical deep dive whenever and wherever, even if it's not required or wanted, then people may think this is a little bit suspicious on your behalf. So you need to be careful about that as well. You need to have the right level of technicality in all of your dealings with the client. Now, 2 things that can help you make sure that they understand that your solution is credible. Demos, great. A great demo is always good. And also proofs of concepts that you can negotiate with the client. Another problem that may arise is that your client is intending to use your solution in a way that you didn't design it for, and it's not going to be supported. That can be a real problem even before closing and certainly afterwards during delivery. I actually did a whole video discussing just that matter a few months back, but essentially it comes down to 2 things. First, you need to be extremely diplomatic because obviously the client is trying to be helpful there. You don't want to come across as rude, but at the same time, you can and should discuss with the client what are the pros and cons of their solution, and then any solution that you can think about how to deploy your solution a little bit better and explain that to them. And trust me, based on my experience, when they hear that from you, they are not going to perceive you as being a salesperson, but much more as a trusted advisor. The 4th challenge that may happen is that in the past, you already sold to that specific client, maybe not necessarily to that department, but, bad news travel fast, and unfortunately, the previous experience was not successful. When that kind of thing happens, there's no shortcuts. First of all, you need to apologize and own that failure. Unfortunately, it may not be your own, but you still need to do that in the name of the company. And then second, you need to come up with a plan that is credible, that is going to avoid having that kind of substandard delivery happen again in the future. It's difficult, and you need to be behind it and make sure that in fact, that plan, if it's accepted by your client, it gets delivered, because guess what? In the future, you hope to sell again and again and again, and you don't want to ever be in that trap again.